Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James Suma. I am an entrepreneur. I started entrepreneurship when I was very young, where I would actually just find things to sell everywhere that I could. And my very first experience with entrepreneurship was in campus, where I took someone's camera and I went to an event where they needed a photographer and I took photos. And my very first experience there was I actually went to one of those shops where we would wash those photos. Of course, they were digital. And I would buy it at 8 shillings and sell it for 20 shillings. And I made a lot of money during that time, around 4,000 shillings. And for the people who've been in campus and you know how things can be difficult, then that was a lot of good money. And over time, I have been able to try very many other businesses, which I will touch once in a while in the presentation this evening. But I want to welcome you to this particular presentation. And I hope that by the end of the presentation, you will have found something that you probably can also start doing. Because one of the things that for me was really important is as I was growing up and even as I got into adulthood, suffering is not my portion. So anytime an opportunity would show up, anytime someone would tell me, you can try this thing, I always wanted to try it. And that has taken me through so many businesses that I have done. I have done a business in importing things from AliExpress in China and bringing them to Kenya. I have done a business of calligraphy for doctors at the medical plaza where I would actually write certificates for them while I was still in campus. I have printed t-shirts, I have printed exercise books, which I would actually sell. So this entrepreneurship thing is not something I have started today. And so one of the things that fascinated me is I wanted to build a business and build a business where the more I do this business, the less work would be required from me because there's no glory in just doing a lot of work. Working hard is good, but working smart is even better. And through this presentation this evening, I want to show you a business that I found, and I'll take you through my story. And this is a business that you can be able to start, which fits into your current schedule. So I want you to think and put it in the chat so that we can have this conversation this evening. What is your dream? I know when we were growing up, we were saying, I'm dreaming to be this, I want to be this. What is your dream? What do you want to do in life? Or you've gotten to a place where you've achieved some of your dreams. I want to see in the chat one or two. What have you done and what do you want to do in life? How does your ideal life look like in the next 5 years? Let me know. Imagine if you could be able to live that dream every single day. And I want to know your dreams. I'm looking at the chart right now and I want to see what are your dreams. And Josephine says that her dream is financial freedom. That is a very good dream, but I want you to get a little more specific. What is your dream? What would you like to do? Right? That's the thing that I want to hear. Carol says that she wants to travel the world. Amazing. Traveling the world. Every time, people are asking you, are you in the country? That's a good dream to have. That's a good dream to have, right? Brighton Feather says travel to the world to earn $1 million a month. These are amazing dreams. And imagine we all have these dreams. Shadrach says financial breakthrough. We all have these dreams, but somehow, somewhere, something happened. And many of us have delegated the dreams that we had to the back burner because we are thinking, I need to pay rent this month. I need to pay school fees. I need to feed myself. These are the things that I need to do. And many of us have even forgotten some of the dreams that we have. But this moment, I really want you to dream. And as we are going through this, I want you to have that dream very clearly in your mind so that you can be able to start dreaming again. And as we are dreaming, one of the things that I want you to think about, and I've seen someone write financial freedom. How would your life be if you'd be able to just not worry about money? How would that life be? Yaani umekaa na ukienda mahali aulizi ati ni bei gani mpaka kuna ile wimbo ya hauna hela nini. Yaani una pesa ya kwamba hauulizi bei ya kitu, ukiingia unachokitaka unachukua. That is such a good life. Hayo ni maisha mazuri sana. Yaani unaweza kaa tu na unajua tu nikitaka kile naweza taka. Yaani mtoto akikuuliza dad nataka hii, mom nataka hii, au kasiriki. Kwa sababu tunakasirika kwa nini? Kwa sababu pesa haiko. What's the second thing that many of us dream about? It's around time freedom. That if I just wanted to wake up today and go and do whatever it is that I wanted to do, I can actually just be able to do it. Imagine umeamka asubuhi alafu nasema, leo nasikia kwenda swimming. Of course, part of our dreams would be to have that swimming pool in our house. But imagine if you just wanted to go to the beach. You just book a plane, or you already have that plane, charter it, go to Ukunda, go to Diani. That would be really, really amazing, that you have the freedom over your time. Because while I was employed, and I know people are going through this, while I was employed, if you wanted to take leave, you had to take it in advance. 3-4 days, sometimes when the year was starting, you needed to tell the boss, hii siku fulani in May tarehe 5 sitakuwa. And it's January. And that's the reality for so many people. That's the life that we are living, so many of us. And even above all this too, there's good health. That you can be able to enjoy your money, that you can be able to enjoy your time, because sometimes even just the fact that people do not have good health, all the other things, financial freedom, time freedom, does not even apply. So these are the things that so many of us just need in our lives: having financial freedom, having time freedom, and having good health. And if you can be able to have this, and I know so many times we say health is the greatest wealth. And this is because so many people don't have the health in order to be able to just enjoy the money that they have made. And so this is me. This is me a few years ago. In fact, I really had to look for photos of when I was in employment. And I was in employment for about 7 years. And it was a good job. In terms of, if you're comparing jobs to another, it was a good job. I had a good employer. I was actually working, and I had been promoted 2 or 3 times within 7 years. So I was doing well. In fact, sometimes I think if some 2-3 things did not happen, I probably would still have been in employment. But there came a point when I was looking at that particular job, and I asked myself, I'm doing this job and I'm supposed to have been promoted by this time, but I'm not getting promoted. So what's going to happen? Even when it gets to a point where you go for interviews, you think that when you get a master's, that it gives you an added advantage. But then I get to that point, I find all the people that are here, we all have the same qualifications. Imagine that. And so I asked myself, is this the same life that I want to be living? Because I would wake up very early in the morning, and this is Nairobi life. You wake up 5 a.m. and you get into jam 2 hours on the road trying to get to that office. And then you get into the office, and because I used to work at a bank, you get into the office and you have planned what you want to do that particular day, but you're not going to do it. Why? Because when customers show up, you can't tell them, kaa hapo, wacha nimalize kile nilikuwa nafaa nifanye. You have to take care of the customers that are seated in front of you. And once they leave, that's when you start the work you were supposed to start in the morning. So what does that mean? That in one day, I have to do kazi ya siku mbili. And you get out of the office at around 8 p.m., almost 8:30, almost every single weekday, Monday to Friday. And on Saturday, of course, you're expected in the office as well. And then you have a family that is on this side, you have children that are on this side who never even get to see you. And even on Saturdays, you find you have to still wake up, go to the office, you'll find saa 9 ndio unatoka ofisini. So this was not the life that I want. So I started the search to create a second income. And that's when I stumbled on a business of photography, which is something that I had tried in campus. And then I decided, in order to be able to not be stressed too much by this employment job, let me start a photography business, which is a business that I still do till this day. And it is a business that, of course, has given me a lot of joy, and it continues to give me a lot of joy and a lot of money as well. But one of the other things that now, as I did my business, one of the things I noticed is that if I don't personally look for clients, then I'm never going to get business, because even the employees that I have, none of them is actually just looking for business for me. It is my work to look for those customers. So I wanted to see, is there another way that I can be able to do a business that, of course, as I'm starting off, it is me grinding and doing all this, but as time goes, the work that I am supposed to do will keep on reducing, but the amount of money that I am making will keep on increasing. Is that a good business or not? And so for me right now, no more 9 to 5, but even more so, I am building a second income for myself apart from my photography business, where now that will allow me in the next 5, 10 years to start living life on my own terms. And that's what I'm excited to share with you today. But even before we get there, how many of us who are here, you're feeling stuck in a job and you feel this job is limiting your dreams? Ukiangalia boss mwenye ako hapo kando yako, yani anakufinyilia tu, bure tu anakufinyilia tu. Tell me in the chat if that is you. Tell me, just say me in the chat. How many of you are running a business where you feel you're making everyone else money except yourself? This is something that I want you to tell me in the chat. Me, I'm going through this. I'm going through this, so that I know if I'm talking to the right person. Gerald says me. I know. I was there. Lynette says me. I was there. And this is a reality for so many people. This is something that so many people are currently stuck in. Na shida ni kuwa ya kwamba tumefika mahali unafeel hakuna kitu ninaweza fanya. Kwa sababu nitafanya nini? And now I want to show you. Just like this man, I'm thinking, yani nitafanya nini? Because prices are going up. The cost of living is going up. Your landlord is increasing rent. The food that you eat, of course, the value is going up. The transport that you use every day, the price is going up. Taxes are going up every single day, including from July 1st. It is going to get worse. Many people are losing income without warning. Just a week or so ago, a bank in Kenya just decided 1,200 people go home. You woke up in the morning, you had a job, you hear an announcement, you don't have a job. So no access to those systems. No time to even say goodbye. You're told we don't need you anymore. This is something that so many people are going through. And there are mental health issues that people are struggling with. You are the only one who was working, and then during the day you hear there's no work. So what are you going to do? How are you going to face your children? Utaambia watu nini? This is a reality that so many people are going through. That is our reality today. And so many people are struggling for this reason. They are struggling because they have one income. We were taught as we were growing up, so many vijana, mwisho wa masomo utapata kazi nzuri sana. I know Gen Zs don't even know that song, but that is a song that some of us grew up with. But what that song promised us is not the reality today. One income. That's all we were taught. Look for a job, look for a job. Even when you go to campus, even when you go to school, the idea behind it is look for a job. And then you just get this one income, and one day If you have a bad boss, they can decide, I don't like the way your face looks, so you're not having this job anymore. And it can even be outside of your fault, because a president in another country can decide, we are not going to fund your company, so you lose your job. That is a reality for so many people, and that leads people to struggle. Secondly, is lack of time freedom. I remember one of the days just before I left my job was I wanted to go and do a photography job. And I had applied on a Tuesday for a Saturday off. And then on Saturday, my manager calls me and asks me, where are you, Momo? And I'm wondering, what do you mean, where am I? I'm on leave. And he asked me, no, but I did not approve this leave. Of course, he had approved. But time freedom was not something that I could say I had, because they determine whether you're going to go on that leave or not. Even when they have verbally said it on the system, they can decide, or their friend wants to go on leave, so it takes precedence over you, and there's nothing you can do. And so prices are also rising. If you remove 1,000 shillings from your pocket these days, it is already gone by the, if you just remove it, it is already gone. Prices are going up. There's a lot of stress. This is a reality of life that so many people have. But there is hope. Kuna matumaini. The idea that I want to give you today is that you can be able to create a second income without quitting what you are doing right now. And the bigger idea around it is the job that you have, the business that you have, it can actually pay your bills. And you can do that alongside what I am introducing today, so that you can be able to now have money. You can be able to now have an income. You can be able to have a lifestyle that you can comfortably, if you want, leave this job that has been draining you, that has been taking away all your creativity, that has been taking away all your freedom and giving you a lot of stress. Because the stress is you do not have cash in your pocket. So you can start a business that gives you extra cash, it starts giving you extra freedom, and it reduces your stress. Did you know that money is a stress reliever? Did you know? Try it. Money is a stress reliever. So we need some money so that we can be able to just enjoy life, because life is supposed to be enjoyed. And so where are we? So many of us, I want to know in the chat, look at this place. Are you on the left or are you on the right? This is a concept that was popularized by Kiyosaki called the cash flow quadrant. And on the left are employees and self-employed people. And on the right are people with big businesses and investors. So I want to know from you, are you on the left or are you on the right? Are you on the left or are you on the right? So the people that are on the left are employees. You have a boss, you report there every single day. Ruth says she's on the left. Self-employed people are people who've started businesses, but they have less than 10 employees. So you're on the left. If you get sick, your business is sick as well. So you're self-employed. Gerald says he's on the left. Abigail says she's on the left. The people who have big businesses have 500 people in their business. That means that even if they themselves are physically sick, the business still continues running. Vekas is on the left. 95% of people are on the left. That is a reality. But the truth of the matter is, when it comes to money, only 5% is with the 95% of people. And so for us, each of us needs to think of, how do I move to the right? How do I move to the right? And you move to the right by doing these two things: starting a business and becoming an investor. And the truth of the matter is, so many businesses can be done, but can we do a business that can be accessible to each one of us? Biashara yenye sisi tunaweza kufanya sisi wote. And so, are you open? Tell me if you're open in the chat. Say, I'm open. Are you open to earning an extra income? To work part-time? No experience is needed, by the way, because we'll train you. There's a proven system that gets you paid monthly, that gets you paid daily. Every week you can be making money. Are you open? Tell me in the chat. Say, I'm open at this particular time, right? Because if you open, then I want to show you the secret. This is the business model. It's a personal franchise or distribution business. What does that mean? It means that there's someone who owns the business, who has an idea, has the systems, does a business, and then we get into partnership with them so that we can be able to move their products. So we start a business of partnership with someone who has products that will move. So this is a business that you have seen around you. If you look at the big pizza places and you look at the places where you go and get those fried chicken, those businesses are called franchises. What does that mean? There's someone in an office somewhere who has created a system and has said, if you want to cook my chicken, you need to cook it for this amount of time. You need to do it like this. If you're serving people, you need to talk to them like this. And this is something that for so many people is not accessible. But why is this a good business model? Because it takes guesswork out of business. If today you are going to start any business, you would just say, I've seen people starting this business. Let me go and start it. That's the way most of us start business. But that is an extremely risky way of doing business. Just because Momo is doing photography does not mean that you also need to go and do photography. Remember how the quill business happened? So many people saw quills being sold here, saw this being done there, and they wanted to do that as well. But that's not the way it works. So you need a business that, number one, has been tested over years, and they already have done all the legwork. They have a product, they have already done the research and development, they have already done research for demand of those particular products that they are selling. They've invested a lot of money, and they already know there are people looking for those products that they are selling. And all they need now are people to come in and say, Mimi, in this particular area, that's what I will be doing. I'll be distributing it here. And it is a business that allows you to start a business with low startup. In fact, we start people with around 10,000, 11,000, and I'll show you how to make money with it. And as well, it is flexible, meaning even if you're still working, there's an hour that you usually have when you're not doing a lot of things. That is the hour to be talking to people. During lunch, you're calling customers, you're booking appointments. Once you're done with work, you continue doing that particular business. And number three, it is scalable, meaning that the efforts you're putting now is to build a team, a network of people who will be doing the same thing that you're doing. They're looking for clients, they're selling to those clients. And this is a smart way to build income. Why is it a smart way to build income? Because it allows you to make full use of the people that you know around you, and as they are succeeding, you also succeed because you introduce them in the business. So how does it work? You partner with a manufacturer, and our manufacturer is from the United States. The company is called BF Suma, which stands for Bright Future Superior Unique Manufacturers of America. And they have so many products, and we'll talk about a few of them and that in a few minutes. And your work, your main work, is to look for customers. The products exist, the brand exists, the products have been tested that they actually do what they're supposed to do. Your work is to look for customers. And when you look for customers, you earn an income. And there are several ways of earning an income, and we'll talk about that in a few slides from here. That is the job. You get customers, you make money. You get customers, you make money. That is so simple. And so, how do we make money? We make money in about 6 to 8 ways, and I'll show you the first 3. The first is we pick a product and we go and resell it. I'll give you an example. I have some products that are right here, and this is one of the products that we sell. This is called Glucojoint. So I go and I find someone who has issues with their joints, and I go buy this from the shop, and I resell to them at a profit. I make about 30% anytime I sell a product. That is such a simple business. Imagine if you walked into a chemist, of course, they've bought things somewhere, they have stocked them, and they resell it to you. But the bigger difference for us is you don't have to keep a lot of stock the same way pharmacies or chemists or even a shop would keep a lot of stock. You just need to look for the customer. Once you have looked for the customer, you get the product for them, resell to them. You can actually do that business while working in an office, even while you are at home. This is truly a business that you can even do online. It has been one that, even for myself, just talking to people online and telling them about the products that we have and selling to them, and some of them I have not even ever met them, but we do all the things online. The second way that we make money is that this company has put a value on every single product, such as this has a particular value. And at the end of the month, the company now looks at how much saving did we make as a company. Because in a normal business, ungehitaji kutafuta wateja, ungehitaji kuwa na maduka wewe mwenyewe, na hiyo saving yenye kampuni imemake hapo ndio inakulipa nayo, because it would have gotten so many employees to deal with distribution, so many people to deal with rent, so many warehousing costs and all that. But because it is saving, it actually looks and says, this saving that I have, I can put aside 28% to pay the people who have done the distribution. So I'll earn 28% from the dollar value of this particular product by just moving it from the shelves. The third way is cash incentives. Now, the company has been really clever, that if you hit a particular rank, there is some additional money that you can get just to motivate you to keep on selling. Because sometimes you're looking for that extra 6,000, you're looking for some money here and there. That is something that you can be able to get from the company. Apart from the top two, you can also get some incentives. So what happens is you get your rebate, you've already made your profit, and then at the end of the month, you find you've made some $50 or $100 here and there, and you can be able to make your savings there. And even over and above that, there are times when the company has discounts above what their normal price would be. So what does that mean? It means more profits for you. Instead of making 30%, sometimes you make 40%, 50% because of these discounts that happen here and there. The other way that people make money here is cars. Now, this is December 18th, 2024. And there were about 15 vehicles that this company of BF Suma gave to people last year, 2024. And there are people, even in this meeting, who've already qualified for their cars for 2025. And so once you join this business, we will show you how to be able to get this car. You can get a car of 1.7 million or get a car for 3.4 million. If you want to get a car just a little above that, you add your own money. But 1.7 is actually given to you to be able to buy the car. And you can even see that Prado that is just near you on the screen. The second way is company trips. Now, this image at the bottom here is one that fascinates me because this is actually a photo I took last year when the company took me to Masai Mara. Now, there was a competition last year where the company told us if you are able to sell products worth this amount, then we will take you to Masai Mara. Now, Masai Mara tulijibamba. Mbona? Kwa sababu asubuhi tuliamka kila mtu bagi yake, tumekuja hapo na tukaambiwa kila mtu ndani ya Land Rover tuende. Na hakuna pesa yenye natoka kwa mfuko, mumo ndio huyo ndani ya gari. Tukaenda mpaka Masai Mara. And you go into a 5-star hotel in the middle of the Masai Mara. And there's a group this year who are actually working to go to Masai Mara in around July, August. This is one of those experiences that you see it on National Geographic only. I was able to see wildebeest moving from Tanzania coming into Kenya. It was really interesting. Kusikia hizo story yani wildebeest hutoka Tanzania, wanakuja huku, they met in Kenya, and then after 3 months wanaenda kuzalia Tanzania. It is very interesting. These are the stories of you're building, you're making money, you're having fun, and this is an experience that is once in a lifetime. There are people last year who went to Dubai. There are others who went to USA and to Malaysia. A few years ago, people went to Hong Kong. People went to Thailand. And these are trips that happen every single year. This year, people are going to Cape Town. Others are going to the Maldives. This is something that you can, if you love traveling, this can be your life. Yani maisha yako tu ni, yani huu mwaka tunaenda huku, mwaka ujao tunaenda huku, kuna wale ambao wanaenda Beijing. All this is something that is possible for you as a business person. Even if you're building it and you're still working, you're still doing your other business, this can be a reality for you. And every 5 years, once you get to a particular rank, you can actually get a villa. I was searching for a few photos I was unable to find, but I was searching for a few photos where one of our distributors who is in Tanzania has actually been documenting his journey of building his house next to the Indian Ocean. My friend, yani, you just see drone images every single day. You just see drone images of how he's building his villa just next to the Indian Ocean. And this can be something that every 5 years you're getting money to go and build a villa. So what do we sell? Because you've seen how we make money. So what do we sell? We are in the business of health and wellness. And we sell what are called nutraceuticals. If you go into your hospital today, the medicine that you will be given is called a pharmaceutical, which means that it is a chemical medicine. A nutraceutical is a product that has been derived from food. We know that in the olden days, our grandparents and great-grandparents used to live really long because the food that they were eating had health benefits. So a company called BF Suma has come up with those same products and then deriving the nutritional value, but even looking at one bottle, and I'll show you that particular product in the next slide, where it picks 1,000 kilos of mushrooms and it's able to make just one bottle. So the nutritional value of so many food products, imagine how long it would take you to eat 1,000 mushrooms to get the nutritional value. Just from one bottle, you can be able, and it's called pure and broken Ganoderma spores. You can be able to get all those nutrients of 1,000 kilos of mushrooms in one bottle. And our products are in different ranges, and you'll allow me, just because of time, to just give you the ranges. So we have products that help people in terms of bone and joints. If you have issues with your joints, if you have issues with calcium deficiency, we have products for that. We have products for the heart as well in cardiovascular. These products will help you just make sure that blood circulation is happening correctly. We have products in digestive health, and we've actually introduced a program called Suma Fit, where you can actually be able to use our products and lose weight, which I bought that product yesterday and I'm starting on Monday, and I'm looking for a number of people we can do this with so that I can lose a few more kilos. I've done the Suma Fit before. There was one product that wasn't there, but I did Suma Fit before and I lost about 8 kilos. And so I'm trying to do it again. I'm working on doing it again, and I want to lose another 10 kilos so that I can get closer and closer to my BMI. And believe me, you shall not breathe when I come in those three-piece suits once I can fit into them. And it is because of using the amazing products that BF Suma offers. We have products that help with male reproductive health, male infertility, prostate health. These are issues that face men, and this month being Men Mental Health Awareness Month, this is a way you can be able to help our fathers, our uncles, our brothers to be able to get their reproductive health back so that we can have happier families. Because a man who has low testosterone is a very stressful man to have around. So you need this male reproductive products. And then we have female reproductive products, helping with hormonal imbalance, helping as well with issues of acne and reproductive health and vaginal health care. All these are possible and they exist within our line. And our children, of course, are not forgotten. Their eyes, their immunity is also helped because of the products that we have. So you can actually see we are helping the whole family, from the youngest to the eldest, from children health to joint care for your grandparents. This is all available within BF Suma. And if you're looking for vitality, if you want to continue growing young, then we have our anti-aging products. I love these products because even people with dementia, we can actually help them in this particular area. These are products that have real benefits. And as you can see, there's a growing demand for these particular products. People are looking for products that actually work. So why do we do these products? It is for these three reasons. Health trends show a rising demand for products that can help people to live healthier. They're easy to sell because people want health. There's no one who wants to ignore their health, because you can make all the money in the world, but if you do not preserve your health, you will use all your money just to regain your health. And these are products that people love and they use daily. We also have products like toothpastes. We have products like soap, which people can be able to use every single day. We have products like our immune booster, which you can use every single day, both to promote your immunity for the people who are unwell, even people who have cancer, and also to prevent diseases from attacking you. So I want to give you a small example on the possibility that exists in terms of making money in this business. And the example that I'm using is of our star product, which is called Pure and Broken Ganoderma Spores. This is a product that we buy at 7,830 and we resell at 10,200. And that means that we make a profit of 2,370 for every sale that we make. So in this case, if you join the company, and this is how I usually start it at, for joining, you'll get the license at 2,900, and then you buy 7,830, you buy the Pure Unbroken. And you can be able to go and resell it. If you find 5 clients, you will be able to make a profit of 11,850. If you find 20 clients, you'll make 47,400. And this is really simple. Once you understand the product, you look for the customers. You look for the customers, sell to them, and you make this money, because this is money that is coming into your pocket. People will give you the 10,200. You go again, buy your 7,830, and you keep on increasing the income that you get. At the end of the month, if you have sold 20 of them in your very first month, you will make a minimum of 18,000 shillings. That means that if you just do one sale of this product, you will make an income of 2,721. And if you did 20 sales, you'll make an income of 65,000 by the end of the month. So you can actually just look for 10 families, sell to them 2 each, and this is the amount of money that you'll make as a minimum at the end of the month. This indeed is a business that makes sense. And so one of the things that differentiates this business from so many others is the amount of support that you get when you are doing this business. As you're doing this business, you can actually see this particular presentation is good for distributors as well. Because if a distributor wanted to do a presentation to a guest, they have someone else do it for them. And this is possible every Wednesday and every Friday evening. We have guests who come on, we have different speakers who tell us about this particular business. As well, every single day, we have trainings in our shops all across the country, in Nairobi, in Kiambu, in Nakuru, in Embu, Meru, all these places in Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam. We have trainings in Kampala. All these places we have trainings where people are able to understand about this business, about the products all through. And then in the evenings at 8 p.m., we have distributor-only trainings, which allow you to learn from different leaders who are in the business, talking about the products. Even our doctors do presentations on Thursdays once in a while, where they tell us about how to recommend these products. We have doctors in all our places. So if you have someone who is unwell, they can actually come to our shops, get what is known as a bioscan. It is only 1,500 shillings, and the doctor will explain to them how their body is doing and which products they need, and they can be able to now buy these products straight from you, and you make your money. And the person who brought you into this business as well has an incentive to train you, because the only way we grow is by growing other people. And you'll have one-on-one training with your leaders, and in your groups as well, you'll also have trainings as well. And I know after doing this, someone is asking me, what, Mimi, I don't have experience. I've never sold anything before. Don't worry. We have trainings for all new people. We train you, we show you this is how to get a client. This is how to place an advert on social media. This is how to talk to someone who you want to join the business. We'll train you all these things, because what we have learned, we freely give it to you so that you can succeed as well. In fact, it is one of our biggest duties to make sure that the people we introduce into this business, we also show them how to do the business. And someone is asking you, is this thing really real? But don't worry, you'll hear from some people just in a few minutes. And someone is asking, I'm really busy. Don't worry. This business goes at your pace. If you want to build a business slowly and surely, you will still do this business slowly. If you just want to learn and consume the products for yourself and for the people that are around you, it's okay. You can do that as well. If you want to get the car within a year, you can get the car within a year. This business works at your pace. And someone is asking, can this really work for me? Me, I have this. Me, I have this. And my question to you is, why not? Many of the times we have grown thinking that other people deserve success. But the truth of the matter is, even you deserve success. Even you can succeed. Even the money that will be talked about here is possible for you to have it as well. So what's next? I want you to go into the chat and just say, I want to start. If you haven't yet started this business, I want you to just go into the chat today and just say, I want to start. Because this is a business that will not wait for you. The train is already leaving, and you need to get started right now. The next thing that you'll need to do as you're writing in the chat, because I can see there are some chats that are coming in saying, I want to start. Esha is saying, I want to start. Gerald says, I want to start. Speak to the person who invited you, because they will give you even more information that will help you to actually start. In fact, don't sleep before you talk to them. I know it is almost 9 p.m., but if you call them right now and you tell them, by the way, Mumu, I want to get started in this business that you were just talking about, they will be extremely happy to help you to get started. The third thing that I want you to do not allow procrastination and doubt to stop you. You've had the information. The truth of the matter is, so many people start business even without knowing what exists in a business. But at least you have learned something about this business before you got in. And then number 4, I want you to start your journey to freedom, because we are waiting for you so that tukushangilie pale mbele. Tukisikia huyu amepata gari, tukisikia huyu ameenda trip, tunataka hilo jina liwe jina lako. Na tukianza kwenda hizi trips, tunaenda pamoja. Mumu akienda trip na wewe Gerald unaenda trip. Mumu akipata gari na wewe pia unapata gari. This is the thing that we are working on, that we can be able to succeed together. Because the amount of vehicles this company can give, hatuwezi maliza. Even the 400 of us that are here, each of us, just tell yourself, me, I can get a car. Me, I can get a car. And then start this business and do it seriously, because this is actually possible for you. And as promised, I want to invite a very young man who has been doing this business very, very well, and he has built a team. And I want to welcome him to tell us his story in a few minutes so that you can be able to see what is possible in this particular business. I will ask Charles, kindly raise your hand so that I can see you in the chat, and I will unmute you right now. Charles, you can go. And yeah, there we go.
Hello. Hello, good evening. How I'm audible now? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, and you can actually even start your video as well.
Okay. Thank you so very much, and I'm glad to connect with everyone listening. I've enjoyed this presentation like it's my first day listening to it, and I remember the first day I heard about it. It's exactly around now 2 years, 5 months, when a friend of mine gave me a call to invite me to this particular opportunity. And in fact, she gave me a call and told me that, Charles, there's an opportunity here that you have to come and listen to. At first, I was relaxed because I was a student. I was supposed to finish my degree in Tech 1. I was doing statistics. So when that happened, I was relaxed because I knew at the end of school, there's a job waiting for me outside there. So, but because I knew I needed money, after final exams to graduation, there was a period there that I needed money. So I was doing a few things here and there. I knew how to sell a few things here and there. So when I came, she informed me about the products I'm about to deal on. I love the product, and I knew because about health is something that each and every person that I know needs. The second thing that I loved so much during that presentation was if I sell any product, I'm going to earn twice. That means I'm going to make my instant profits like most business people do. Then at the end of the month, I'm going to make a bonus. For me, that went like, wow. So I saw that money and I told myself that was something I could do as I was waiting for other things to happen. Because I was waiting for me to graduate and have my certificates and probably find a job. So when I came now back deeply understand the business, and I realized if I was going to do this seriously, I was going to have a yearly travel, I was going to have a yearly car award, and an insurance, and each and every 5 years I'm going to have a house and a villa fund for that case. So that gave me, and I instantly started thinking about how can I start and how can I make it now grow so big. And something amazing happened. You know what? Being a student, I was not going to depend on help, few things here and there. And that day, I only had 300 bob. Mbele nyuma. You get? Ile tumebaki, ndio naenda kupigia mzazi hapa na pale kutumia kitu. And I didn't know how I needed to raise the first month to start. But because I saw, in fact, that the person who invited me, he had some money in the account that day, and I saw that money, I told myself, if only the small amount of money, 10,000 needed to start this business, iweze nikataza ndio nianze kuenjoy hii maisha. So I went back to my place, my resident and I told her I would come tomorrow. But deep down I knew I had 300. I only believed that in one way or another I had to find my way up to raise that money because that was something I would not miss. So I went back to my place, and the first thing I did was to write down a contact of people that I can ask for favors here and there. And I called not one, not two. I managed to raise some money, and I sold one of the things I had in my house. We call the roofer. Okay? That is something I knew very well. I looked at it because I used to stay in that single room. That's a place where you can see everything of your house in just one glance. So I looked at something I could dispose, and I saw the roof and looked at it and said, this is something that if I don't have it, I can't die. If I don't have it, nothing can happen that bad. So I disposed it, and that is how I managed to raise the money to start. Okay? And the good thing is, because of the support system, because of the people around this particular place, I learned how they get the clients. Okay? How do they talk to them? And within my first week, I made my first client who came and saw the doctors here. I didn't even know much of the product. Okay? But through the doctors, through the experienced personnel we have here, the client was screened, was shown the the product, and that is how I made my first sale. I've never been that happy because you know why? It helped me to refund the profits, the money I borrowed from other my friends, and it helped me get started in this business right. For the last 2 years, the growth has been amazing because I qualified for travel last year, and this year again I qualified for travel. And now these are stories that for me, remember, I just came here to look for money to survive. But today I'm doing it at full time. This is my full time career. I'm not going to look for a job anymore because I've qualified for travel. The income is great, and now there's something I love so much. Okay, the people I've met that have shown this particular business, that this opportunity have changed their life. It makes me so happy because in their history, one day they will stand up, one day, if I will be there or not, they will say that, look, Charles, I met this particular business that changed my life, changed their opportunity of their home. Their parents, they are now bought better homes. Their children will living a good life because I showed them this business. For me, I count that as that's my legacy I want to live, and I want to help as many people as possible because I bet this particular good opportunity that will save the life of each and every person. So if you're listening to this, okay, if you're here today, this is your first time listening. My first appeal is get to understand it properly, okay? Get down to understand it properly. So once you understand it properly, the next thing is just get to take action. Just get to take action because these are businesses that have changed so many lives. So many lives are going to be changed because we are just getting started. You're tunaanza kazi, and thank you so very much.
Amazing. Asante sana, Charles. And one of the things I love about Charles, because he's here, one of the things I love about him is because he's among those people who decided that fear of embarrassment will not stop him. And he's actually building a really great business. And we are really proud of you, Charles. Thank you so much for that testimony that you have given us at this particular time. Thank you so much. And that tells you that even if you're a young person in this particular meeting, you can start a business the same way that Charles started. You may not have money right now in your pocket. You may already be at poverty. You are not, there's nothing between you and poverty. But if you have a dream, you will find a way. The thing that stops so many young people is the fact that we look at just our personal experiences and we decide that this thing is not possible because I don't have the resources within me. And even over and above that, what you can actually do, look for people who have money. Don't hang around the people who are broke like you because they don't have the same dreams that you have. And of course, Charles and a few others who are in this business, they are talking to the young people in a very good way. And I wanted his story to be shared as well. And thank you so much for taking that time. And I also want us to listen from one of our leaders. Her name is Carol. Carol, tell us about your story within BF Suma.
Thank you so much, Mumo. Asante sana, like you've heard, my name is Karen Joki. I am going to be exactly 4 years at the end of this month with BF Suma. It started on a Friday like today, called Friday like today in July 2021. Nilikuwa pahali town, kulikuwa na baridi kama leo, nilikuwa natafuta kahawa. Lakini nilikuwa najiuliza nikinywa ile kahawa ya restaurant na vile nasumbuliwa na maziwa itakuwaje. Hapo ndipo mtu mmoja tulikuwa na yeye akaniambia jaribu kahawa ya BF Suma. Mimi nilikuwa niko hii town miaka yangu yote, nilikuwa nafanya na a diplomatic mission. Actually in 2021 it was coming to exactly 18 years of working with the diplomatic mission in this town and had never heard about BF Suma. Nikamuuliza hiyo BF Suma iko wapi? Akanielekeza na nikaenda hapo saa hiyo hiyo. It was on a Friday afternoon, I remember so well. And I always say, by God's grace, I met someone that I knew from a past encounter that I had with her. Nikamwambia natafuta kahawa, akanionjesha kahawa moja inaitwa Reishi. Mimi sikuwa nimeshawahi onja kahawa yenye inaonja vizuri hivyo. Na hata sasa saa hii ukiendelea na hiyo presentation, nilikuwa nanywa hiyo kahawa inaitwa Reishi, naipenda sana sana. Na hiyo siku nilipokuwa naenda nyumbani nikajiambia, hii kahawa vile inaonja, ningependa kuwa naitumia, na pia naona naweza itumia na niuze kwa watu wengine. So I called this lady and told her I would like to have an account with BF Suma. How did I know that? I had encountered the industry of network marketing, and I knew that the best way to buy products is to have an account, your own account, so that you get a discount and so that you also get paid for buying. So hapo ndipo safari yangu ilianza. Na within the first 3 months nilikuwa nimeanza kuona pesa yenye ilikuwa inaongezeka kwa mshahara yangu, kiasi ya kwamba najiambia, if I can make an extra 50, 80, 100,000 bado nikiwa kazini pale diplomatic mission, this must be a good company. Ndiposa nikajiambia nitatia bidii. Kutia bidii kumaanisha nini? Nikajiambia nitaelekeza watu wengine kununua kama mimi vile nanunua. Nitaambia watu wengine pahali nimepata naweza tengeneza extra money, na nikaendelea kufanya hivyo wakati wa lunch time, kwa sababu nilikuwa katika very busy office. Jioni nikitoka kazini, na saa zingine over the weekend. That is how my business started. Within 8 months of being with BF Suma, that is April 2022, nikaweza win hiyo incentive ya gari. Hapo ndipo macho yangu ilifunguka. Nikajiuliza, mimi nimefanya na hii diplomatic mission 18 years. Sipati loan ya kununua gari, sijaipewa pesa ya kununua gari. Yet the employer was very good, my salary was very good. Hii kampuni yenye inaweza nipea incentive ya pesa milioni na kununua gari, lazima niichunguze vizuri, lazima nielewe kabisa, lazima nitie bidii. Hapo ndipo nikaanza kupanga vile hata naweza resign kutoka kwa diplomatic mission, kwa sababu nilijiambia huenda ikawa kuna nafasi ya kupata pesa mingi zaidi, na huenda ikawa naweza kuwa na freedom. For those that know how diplomatic missions work, because they are areas of high level of security, there is a lot of controlled freedom. Such that nikiingia kazini hivi, simu yangu ilikuwa inaacha kushika network, kwa hivyo siwezi nikawasiliana na watu nje. Na hiyo mikakati ya security within the workspace, which I respected. But then again, like Mumo said, pia kuna ile kutopata nafasi kwenda for holiday, or kutopata nafasi kwenda shule wakati mtoto wangu ako na prayer day or games or things like those. So nikaanza kujiambia mimi nitaacha hii kazi, lakini nikajipa goal, nikajiambia nitaacha hii kazi wakati bonus yangu ya BF Suma itakuwa mara 2 ya mshahara wangu. Kumbuka nimefanya kazi miaka 18 hapa penye nasema BF Suma igonge mara 2 ya hiyo mshahara. Lakini kwa sababu nilikuwa naona watu wengine wakiwa na mishahara na bonus kubwa, nikatia bidii. Na nikajiambia nitakapogonga miaka 19 katika hii kazi, hiyo siku ndio nitapeana resignation yangu. I'd like to report to the guests that are here today that on the 25th of November 2022, I was able to resign from the diplomatic mission, having accomplished my goal of earning twice what I was earning at the diplomatic mission. That was over 19 years. Sisemi hivi kumaanisha kwamba nilikuwa na kazi mbaya. Sisemi hivi kumaanisha kwamba my employer was bad. Sisemi hivi kumaanisha kwamba kazi ni mbaya. Nasema hivi kumaanisha kwamba nilipata pali pengine penye pako na pesa zaidi, penye pako na freedom, penye nilikuwa na uwezo wa kutravel, hivi kwamba in 2023 niliweza kupata nafasi ya kutravel to Hong Kong and Thailand, having again achieved the incentive of travel. Na ile kitu ilinifurahisha zaidi ni kwamba katika timu yangu kuna watu pia walikuwa wamepata hiyo incentive ya kutravel. Kwamba wale watu nilikuwa nimeanza kuonyesha vile tutafanya hii kazi katika biashara ya BF Suma, pia nao walikuwa wameanza kupata nafasi ya kutravel. 2024 tena nikasaidia wengine wakaenda Masai Mara, wengine wakapata nafasi ya kwenda South Africa, wengine wakapata nafasi ya kwenda Malaysia, na mimi nikapata nafasi ya kwenda USA. Hii 2025, acheni niwaambie, mimi nilisomea education. My first degree was in education and I taught geography. Hata wa sasa sijui Maldives ziko wapi, na nilikuwa mwalimu wa geography. Sioni kwa map nikifunga macho, lakini hii mwaka majaliwa ya Mungu, September tutakuwa Maldives na wengine wengi. Hivi kwamba nasema nini? Nasema kwamba BF Suma imenipatia freedom, imenipatia pesa si haba, imenipatia nafasi ya kusaidia watu wengine kupata afya na kuweza kufanya biashara either on a part-time basis ama on a full-time basis. Ningependa kuambia guests wenye wako hapa, si eti kwamba naelewa sana hizi vitu, lakini vile tuko hapa sote, nimesoma kwa Mumo, kesho nitasoma kwa mwingine, nafuata vile nilionyeshwa, pia wewe unaweza kufuata vile tutakuonyesha, na pia wewe mwaka ujao, mwaka huu utakuwa ukiongea vile umefanikiwa katika hii biashara. Asante sana.
Asante sana, thank you very much for that story. And ukweli ni kwamba watu wengi tunabaki tukijitayarisha, na katika lugha yangu tunasema mbangeka makedhewa mataneka. What does that mean? It means that procrastination, you will never succeed. You will keep on preparing, but if you never do, you will still stay at the very same place. And so today, you've heard from Carol, you've heard from Charles. And so today, it is up to you. Me and my small brother here are telling you, the richest networks, the richest people build networks. Everyone else looks for work. And so it is upon you this particular evening to get started moving from the left to the right. It is not going to be an easy journey, but it is going to be a journey that you will thank yourself in the future for having taken that first step. Hii njia si rahisi, lakini ukiifanya kwa umakini utafanikiwa.